Hello YouTube and fellow resellers, my name is Kevin the Stoic Reseller. I'm back at you with a new stories that you may have missed from eBay. We got a jam-packed video for you today. If you're new here, I am a part-time reseller. My wife now works for me, so next week is more or less 3/4. There's an ant on my monitor. Basically, I buy and sell new and used clothing, sell it on eBay and Poshmark. And if you're into that kind of stuff, you're into knowing up-to-date information from eBay, what I think about it, economic uncertainties or what's going on in the economy. I show you all my numbers. I'm very transparent with everything. Talk about new ideas, how to generate business, how to move forward. If you're into that, please like, subscribe, share my videos, and let's jump right into it. So if you guys are living under a rock, you guys have to not go through this world closed-minded, okay? You cannot just hone in on just what you're doing and close out the world. You have to have some open-mindedness to what is actually happening. You don't have to dig into it. You don't have to rule your life with it, but you have to have some gist of understanding of what is happening. You may not be able to control it, so you may not have to care about it, but you should at least know that it's happening. So today, one announcement that I really want to get off my chest is to Josh Galt. If he's listening, best of prayers. I hope everything works out for you, my friend. I know how hard it is to step away from reselling as a full-time person. I used to be a few years back, and sometimes you got to make the decision that you need to make to do what you need to do for your family. Okay. And I admire that. It's a form of courage that a lot of people don't have and are unwilling to do. And I admire that of him. And I wish him the best of luck moving forward. Now, if you also didn't know, the new winter seller update came out today from eBay. And so we're going to go over that. We're going to go over the fact that one of the business strategists from eBay stepped down the other day. And then also I wanted to share something with you which may or may not matter. It's more along the lines of the economy moving forward and what that may or may not mean for you and I. So back to the 2024 winter seller update. So this is got a lot of information for you guys. I'll include a link down below in the comment section, or not the comment section, but about the video section anyways. So they're rolling out, there's 4 main topics here, guys. So the first topic is the improved tools to help you grow your business. Some new thing about Sell It Faster, which gives you specific recommendations on items in your store that may, if you read it, it says, can help it sell faster. Their recommendations, which you already know what their recommendation is going to be. Promote the fuck out of it. So we already know that. I don't know why they had to point that out, because that's what they've been telling us for the last 8 months. Run your business more efficiently. So drafts of your listings will now be stored for 75 days after their last update. That's actually been implemented for a while, it feels like. I've never gotten, my drafts never last that long. So, but just bear in mind, if you keep a large draft bank, make sure that you're running through it regularly, because if after 75 days, that work and time and effort that you put into it, those will just be deleted. Stronger protections on your transactions and accounts. So they've improved the unpaid items for seller-initiated offers, not buyer-initiated, because why would they do that? Why would Poshmark have better overall ability to make sure you get paid? However, with that said, I haven't had an unpaid item longer than a day or so. So there was a point last year where I had, it seemed like, there was a time where I had like 4 or 5 unpaid items, and they were just sitting there. It was just terrible, but they have reduced it. So in fairness, eBay has done a good job. Thank you. And also multi-user access. They've added now account owner level restrictions, similar to like if you have an internet account and you can do like the your child protection stuff, like, oh, you can do this. They're adding that feature now, which is pretty sweet. And then the big ticket thing here is they added updated fees and financials. So first, I want to point before we deep dive into that. I wanted to point out these other changes. They've did some feedback stuff. None of this down here really makes any difference. You can now sort custom SKUs on your mobile. You can now do you can create like promotions and things like that on your mobile, and something to do with shipping. It's just a bunch of really nothing and overall important. The biggest ticket item here, honestly, is the update to fees. So they have a per order fee now is going to 40 cents for items that have a total cost over $10. So if your item with everything included is under $10, it's still 30 cents per item. But anything over that is getting an additional 10 cents per sold item. You may not think that's too big. 10 cents. What is 10 cents, guys? 10 cents. Ooh, small price to pay. You have to realize that's a 33% increase to their model here. I mean, that's a pretty big jump. And on top of that, when you start to think about how many items you may sell over the course of a month, you got to figure every 10 items you sell is an extra dollar that they're charging you. So keep that in mind. I'm not complaining about it. I understand fees and cost of business has gone up. So as a seller, you kind of had to expect at some point either final value fees or per transaction fees were going to go up. I don't think it's reasonable to suggest that the fees should stay the same over the course of forever. Just like inflation, every time you go to the grocery store, it now costs you 20% more. So things like that, I'm not going to complain about it. I just want to make sure you guys understand that 10 cents is a big deal when it comes down to it. And you also have to understand, you now need to factor that additional 10 cents into your profit margin, because now you got promoted listing fees, you have this additional 10 cents. So it does play a factor, because listen, if you are selling a ton of items, say you're doing the quantity method, right? And you're selling, 200-300 items a week, that easily is, $200 to what, or $20 to $30 a week in more fees, and that hits you straight on the bottom line, people. So please be very cautious of this. Know that fee is going up. This will take effect on March 15th, and also it's on the total order. So you can't price your item at $9.97, no free shipping, because if it sells to a state with taxes, it'll bring the total order over $10, and eBay will charge you the extra 10 cents. So really, you have to sell an item for, I don't know. I mean, it's like what, $4 plus shipping and taxes, and it's kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is. Okay. But yeah, so there's that, guys. Please be aware of that. Like I said, I'll include the link down below so you can read the full article. The other ones are really nice, some nice improvements, to be fair. This one, though, like I said, I'm not going to complain, because business is business. Everything's going up. I'm surprised it took this long, but just be aware when you're figuring out all your total numbers going forward. Next, we're going to talk about eBay's new strategy for the future, which is actually up in the air. Who knows? There's some speculation on the interwebs if you wanted to go and search for yourself. But I found this really cool article from Value Added Resource by Liz Morton. This was done a couple days ago. And it talks a lot about a lot of stuff. I'm going to highlight some things here. I just want to give her credit. The link to this will also be in the down below for you to read in its entirety. But just for your reference, so you understand what's actually happening here, Stephanie, I think it's Stephanie J is her name. Yeah, Stephanie J has reportedly stepped down, and this is her right here. She stepped down, and she was the business and strategies officer, and there's not a whole lot of why she stepped down, but she was brought over with Jamie, the CEO of eBay, from Walmart. So they had this big, broad plan So if you don't know, in 2020, they brought in a big giant plan. It seemed to go in the right direction. They bought a bunch of companies. They started offering a bunch of stuff, such as authenticity guarantee for shoes, luxury bags, watches, just all sorts of stuff. And they bought a few companies. And as we go down here, we're gonna keep going. One of the great things, she wanted to say, they have 132 million active buyers, blah blah blah. But here's the gist of what I want to get into, guys, because Jamie, if you read some of the stuff that Jamie and Stephanie have been putting out, they talk about this grand growth strategy. They have the right ideas, they have the right strategy, and they know what they're doing. But one, the market doesn't agree, obviously. And two, buyers don't agree with it. And at the moment, sellers kind of don't agree with it either. And Value Added Resource added this cool little graph here. This is the active buyers since 2018. And you can see here now, we are nearing 6 straight quarters of reduced buyers. There's 132 million buyers currently on eBay, and it has been going down every quarter since the height of Q1 2021. Now, you would think as a company, you would go, okay, we got all these new buyers, right? That's 30 million buyers that they've lost in a matter of 2.5 years, 3 years probably, in fairness. You would think as a company, you would have done more to harbor this, to facilitate an increase, to retain these buyers. And maybe they thought they were going to, but they really haven't. And, honestly, it's a shame because they have less buyers now than they did in Q1 of 2018, guys. So a lot of people are like, oh, we're just going to the market fix because we had inflated buyers for COVID. Guys, this is to 2018. There was 141 active buyers in Q1. And in fact, the buyer count was growing all the way up to Q1 2020. So you guys tell me, has eBay's new business strategy since Jamie and all these new executives have joined up, has it been successful? You don't need to know rocket science to read the graph. Obviously, it hasn't been successful. This is what's playing a factor in everybody's totals, your slow sales, your slow, the slow view counts, and they know this. This data is clear because it's in their quarterly earnings reports. And the problem I have with it personally is they've seen the decline. And think about it this way, guys. They started really pushing promoted listings somewhere in Q1 2022 would be how I felt that they were really starting to push promoted listings. And you could see it hasn't driven up buyer engagement, and all it's done is just pad the stats of eBay to prop them up because they've lost so many fucking buyers that they don't even know what to do now. So, this isn't a rant about, your items in your store. This is why you're not getting sales. Blah, blah. This is a rant of eBay's leadership and destroying the company that we all love, okay? A company that's been around for a long time and has allowed people like you and I to make a difference in our lives, to basically facilitate additional finances at a part-time basis, a full-time basis, and live off of that, to enhance the lives of our family, to do whatever you want. And current management is destroying that. And, hopefully the stepping down of Stephanie allows eBay to really kind of hone in on their strategy and maybe make a difference. Try to figure something out to, gain buyers back. I mean, that should be their goal now. The fact that they've stopped advertising, for general eBay, everything I've seen is either eBay Motors or eBay luxury bags. I have not seen a general eBay advertisement, and most of the advertisement is when you're on articles like this, on off to the side here that no one pays attention to. I haven't seen anything on YouTube. I haven't seen anything on, on TV. It's been strange. I don't know what eBay's overall goal is. We've kind of got the hint that they stopped advertising on Google because now they're wanting you to pay for offsite ads. So it's like, what is happening? You got to re-harbor these buyers. You can't continue to be successful if you're going to just shed buyer after buyer after buyer. It doesn't make sense. And the article goes in here to say that this reduction of buyers is what caused 1,000 or 9,000 people to lose their jobs, or 9% of the employees on the 23rd of January. The memo is really, I don't really know. If I got this from my employer as a reason to lay me off, I'd been even more pissed, okay? Because you can see here, our strategy is the right one. But there's more we can do to ensure our success. Boy, if you're being laid off from a company and they're telling you their strategy is the right one, damn, that's like, Harry, we're laying you off, and here's a dagger, and while you are going out the building, I'm going to stab you in your leg, just for good measure so you can't come back. How about that? And you're going to like it, because it's the right strategy. We stab you in the leg, you get to go maybe on, I don't know, medical leave. You get to go maybe on more unemployment. I mean, if you offer, permanent disability, we got the cover for you, right? That's basically what that's saying. But it's a fucking slap in the face is what it is, guys. Put yourself in your shoes. If you worked for someone and they told you that, hey, our business strategy is the correct strategy, but we're still laying you off, that seems a little narcissistic. And to be honest with you, I'd be fucking pissed, and I would have probably just given the middle finger straight to the Zoom meeting, and maybe mooned the fuck out of him. I would have stuck my ass cheeks right up on the camera and been like, go fuck yourself. Probably wouldn't have done that because that would have been a little odd, but still. And then here's the other interesting thing that they go in. So when Jamie took in as CEO, I don't hear a lot of people talk about this. He was focusing on the enthusiast buyer growth, which is basically streetwear buyers, shoe buyers, luxury watch and bag buyers, sports cards, trading cards. Those kind of, eBay wants to be known for like this kind of luxury marketplace type deal. But the problem is the last, what do they have here? They have like 6 quarters here. The enthusiast buyer is only 17 million, 16, 16, 16, and they're only spending $3,000 annually. So these are the market customers that Jamie is trying to harbor more of. He wants to grow the 17 million to be more because, to him and personally what I'm thinking is he's trying to basically go, if we have less seller or buyers on the platform, but the buyers are quality buyers, meaning they're spending over $3,000 annually on eBay. If we can grow those, the platform will be healthier. And I agree. But what the fuck have you done to do it? You haven't done shit. Actually, he's done a lot, but has it done anything? Is it time to give up on the things that he has done to try to grow this? Because the article continues to go on and talk about that. So, here's SneakerCon. Here's all the money that they've done. This kind of goes in, let's see here, 14 million to increase related to the expansion of authenticity services for shoes, increase related expansion of authenticity services, which is shoes and then luxury bags, increase related expansion of authentication services. So they're doing more authentication services. So they spent all this money on authentication. That's $38 million in increase in authentication services costs just for the first 9 months of 2023. And we haven't even seen the Q4 yet. And then I forgot about this. So eBay spent $295 million to buy TCG Player back at the beginning of last year. Totally forgot about that. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, it should, because TCG Player was the largest online marketplace at the time for trading cards. Okay. And I think it still might be. But the problem with it is it's become kind of a toxic asset for eBay. Not only has it kind of started to fail in terms of its overall profitability, the workers have now unionized, which is the first ever branch of eBay to unionize, which has caused a huge thorn in eBay's side. They now only have like half the workforce, and on top of that, they've also lost a huge lawsuit there. And then you have to also go into other aspects too. So eBay now, if you also didn't hear, has lost 2 lawsuits. So in addition to going on labor time, eBay has agreed to pay a historic $59 million settlement to the DEA for their pill pressing machines that they allowed to be sold on the platform. Whether you agree with that or not, it's not for us to decide. eBay should have known. They have a broad legal team, obviously. So they had to pay a fine of $59 million. And then one of the acquisitions that they were trying to make, they started cyber stalking and harassing some of the executives. And in this, if you go and find the article, they sent live spiders to these people as a harassment strategy. How fucking dumb are you? Like, this is wild shit, guys. Go read this article. And they were, it's a small penalty, $3 million, but it's fucking bizarre. And then there's also a bunch of other acquisitions during Jay's tenure, but it's also Jamie's, final word, obviously, right? So they bought Fitment for car parts for guaranteed fit, so they added that, which is, if you're in that category, that's a great thing. Certilogo for digital authentication of fashion and luxury brands, and 3PM Shield for AI-powered and compliance and anti-counterfeiting tech. They go on here to say that they really haven't contributed at all to eBay. Let's see here. There was one other thing I really wanted to get into at the bottom here. Here's what their outlook is. So given Q3 2023's disappointing report and uncertain results for Q4 2023 and beyond, it's time for stakeholders to start demanding concrete details about eBay's business strategies, results, plans for the future, including questions like, what was the decision-making process that led to build versus buy versus partner for authentication and other enthusiast buyer vertical focus investments? What have been the results of those decisions in terms of cost, risk versus growth? What are the strengths and weaknesses in these strategies, and what's working, not working? What should be done about what's not working, and where do we go from here? I would also add to that, why? Those are great questions, but also, what are you doing to retain buyers? What are you doing to bring in new buyers? Nothing. From a seller's standpoint, it has been one of the most challenging periods since Q1 of last year. It has led me to cross-list. It has led me to stop promoting because they weren't working. Now I'm back to the point of, okay, there must be some form of hybrid opportunity to promote. I think it's almost a fleeting option for me at the moment that you can't promote at all. It's just, there's so many thoughts going on in my head, and it's like, why is eBay doing this to sellers? And now, not only have they increased the fees overall through promoted listings artificially, they've probably done some irreversible damage to the algorithm, to the coding. There's all sorts of issues that come up with artificially placed items, especially when you don't have the top of the quality people. Amazon has promoted listings, but it hasn't fucked their search results, right? So, that's there's so many issues with eBay, and the things they're focusing on don't fix anything. They don't. The people that have fucking done this for years, who have basically given their lives to this fucking company as a seller, have blood, sweat, tears, dedicated millions of hours. There's millions of sellers with tons of knowledge. There's everything. And eBay is just taking the biggest, fat, wet, juicy turd right on all of our faces. And they're saying, do you want more? And we're going, no more, please. We'll open up, motherfuckers. That's what they're telling us. So, that's how it feels. And I don't know. It is what it is, guys. I highly recommend look through this. This article is pretty fucking wonderful. This Liz Morton here, she's a great reporter on this stuff. It's the first time I've ever read anything from her. Highly recommend you give this article a read. The next thing I want to do is I listen to Tim Pool quite often, and I'm going to link this. It's about 15 or so minutes long, but you really only have to watch like the first 2 minutes of this from his IRL podcast the other day. It's basically about how Congress and other political elites are starting to sell off their stocks. Now you might think to yourself, what does that mean? Who cares? You have nothing vested in this. Well, guys, you need to understand, if these fucking people who all they do is make great, they have inside information. That's what I'm trying to get to, guys. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see like Nancy Pelosi and this douchebag have some of the best track records of buying and selling stocks ever. And, the vast majority of their wealth is due to inside information. That should tell you something. I'm not here to bitch about this because I can't control it. What I'm trying to do is to let you guys know to stop being so narrow-minded. Open your ears. You don't have to care about what you hear, but you should know at least what's going on, right? Like I said in the beginning of the video, you need to know that this shit is happening because you need to start preparing yourself. They know now the economy is going to do something, and it doesn't look pretty, guys. So this is the one thing that you absolutely need to start thinking to yourself. How am I going to survive the next year and a half? Maybe it doesn't hit you. For me, I look at it from a simple perspective. Right now, I'm going to be probably double or tripling the amount of listings I put up because my wife's working for me. And then I'm going to use all that extra money while my wife's on unemployment to get out of leverage. I will no longer have as much debt. The only debt I'll have is my wife's salary after her unemployment runs out and my car and maybe student loans. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. I'll have, your typical stuff like rent and whatnot. But eBay should still be strong enough. Well, eBay and Poshmark should still be strong enough for me to be able to pay everything that it needs to pay. And without all the other leverage, we're going to be just fine. And that's what you guys need to start doing, is thinking about all your business costs, all your personal costs. How are you going to leverage yourself to be successful in the next year and a half? Because I guarantee you the market conditions are going to play a factor in how we as sellers feel moving forward. If it's bad now, it may be worse later. Who knows? I don't know. You don't know. All I can say is do what you can. Do some research. Don't be so close-minded. I promise you guys, if you block out the world around you, you're gonna run right into a brick wall, and then it's gonna surprise you, and you're gonna not know what to do later. So, guys, please, this video here will also be linked down in the bottom here. I highly suggest you give it a watch. So some closing thoughts here, guys, is please just be aware of your numbers. Be aware of what's going on in the eBay world. Just know Q4 earnings from 2023 is just around the corner. It's like, 5 or 6 days. And just know that there is going to be some significant changes happening in the world that we all live in right now. There might be some positive changes on eBay. We can all keep our fingers crossed. Maybe Jamie's going to sit there and go, okay, I went nuclear in one direction, it didn't work. Let's go nuclear in the other direction and try to save my job. He gets paid tens of millions of dollars to do his job. He's obviously got a lot more intelligence than I do, because I'm not making tens of millions of dollars to just sit here and talk to you on the computer screen. But hey, moving forward, guys, please do what's best for you. Please note the economy is not going to be very strong moving forward. You know, once you start seeing the elites and the politicians and everyone start selling off items, stocks, it's time to maybe start reimagining your plans. I think Bearded Thrifter said it correctly. You need to start questioning every single expense you have and how to reduce them. So until next time, guys, comment below. Tell me what you think out first before you click off. Tell me what you think. What did I get wrong? What did I get right? Does any of this trouble you? But until next time, guys, like, subscribe, comment below, and never forget to rule the day.